Welcome back to techgooch, and I've got another dash cam to show you guys. Hey guys, welcome back to techgooch. I have another dash cam to show you guys, and this is from a company called VAVA. That's the VAVA Dash Cam. And while it's not in this box, because it's actually been installed in my vehicle for the past a little over a month, so I've been really giving it a thorough test. And, well, before I actually go into the actual specs or anything like that, I want to show you what it looks like in the vehicle, also a little bit of how the actual app works. So let's go up to my garage, show you what it looks like in my vehicle, and we'll kind of go from there. So as I stepped in the vehicle, actually the Sentry Mode turned on, as it thought that maybe something actually happened, so it took some video, and now it just turned off actually. But this is what it looks like in the vehicle, so let me zoom out here. It's a suction cup mount. I'm trying to get some decent footage of here. Maybe I'll try to pull my vehicle out and get a better footage outside. So I actually left the vehicle running this time, but this is what it looks like. It's a kind of a little, like a hockey puck, maybe is the best way to put it. And it is magnetically attached, so it does pop off and just easily pop back on. And you basically kind of know where to sight it based on the kind of the spine. I don't know if you can see that very well on the actual device itself. Yeah, there we go. See how you can see the direction? That's the direction of the camera itself. So I can just sight it. Now you can obviously open up the app as well and adjust it. I have mine set almost as high up towards the mirror as it can go. It's just a suction cup on there. And then it is USB cable that they do come with that gotta have routed up. There is a GPS device that is attached, and I have that just stuck to the windshield there. So that cable is actually tucked up in the roof liner and then down the A column down into my glove box, where I actually have it. I have a USB port in the glove box. That's what I have it plugged into. Or you can do whatever you want, or plug it into your if you have an USB port anymore, or obviously a car charging USB port. But that's what she looks like on the windshield. Let me open the app and take a peek on there. So first in the app, we're going to want to make sure we're actually connected to the Wi-Fi of the actual dash cam itself, which I am in this case. Head over to the actual app, and this is what the app looks like. Looks like it actually opened up the camera automatically. So you can actually, if I adjusted the camera setting here, you can actually see it adjust in real time. And I can adjust it to look at however I want it to look. If I actually get back here, I can actually go to the camera itself, which is how you connect to the dash cam to see what we just saw. I should say from there as well, you can take a photo, or you can take a quick video of something, and then you can see live view. Down here in the menu system, this is where you can actually see screenshots that you took. Obviously there's the one I just took just a second ago. I actually did a memory card wipe just recently to free up all the memory storage, so there's not going to be as much of a loop on there as normal, but you can see the loop, and you can actually set how long these loops are. Emergencies is if you actually hit something, like a really hard bump, or if somebody opens your car door or something, or in this case when I touched the camera, it'll automatically take a video. Basically that's Sentry Mode, like I said, of outside. Now it's not going to look inside your vehicle, it's only going to look outside, so that's one thing to keep in mind as well. But this is what is here. Now here's what I will tell you. I actually came into the app, and I check on the app every so often, and it said no memory space available. And I went to my loop, and there was one loop video, and that was it. And it was like, oh, what's going on? So I went into the emergency mode, and there were just a ton in here. And then I looked, and that's when you can actually go to the camera, go to the settings up here in the top right corner. This is where we can actually set the camera settings. I have my loop recording for 3 minutes. You can actually change that down to 2 or 1 minute. And this is where the G sensor. The G sensor is that kind of what I called Sentry Mode, which is, I guess, parking mode too. This G sensor is, if you hit a bump or you hit something hard and it thinks that it's an accident, it's automatically going to change it in that emergency column, which is, it will not erase. You have to manually erase them. So I had that set on, I think, low. and it was just crazy. So I cranked it up to high now, and I still get them on occasion if I hit something heavy. And this is going to vary on where you mount it, but also the type of shocks you have in your vehicle. You can deactivate this if you do not want this ever even taking up space, and just do the loop. Obviously, you put a large enough thing in there, and if you have a loop, even if you get an accident, you're going to be able to actually pull that loop feed out. It's just that you're going to have to go into the loop to find it, whereas this is going to automatically save it as a clip saying, hey, there's something that happened here. So you can have it record sound, see the LED indicators, which are on the back side of the device. Watermark, you can actually, in the watermark, and you'll see here in the video, it'll actually do your speed. That's what the GPS setting is for. But also, and you can turn the GPS off, but also in here as well, if you go to the home, it'll actually show you on a map where your last drive was from start to finish. So that's pretty cool. There's a lot of really neat features that they put into this dash cam. So that, well, and this is the VAVA Dash Cam. I actually took it out of my vehicle after I filmed that part, and it's still running. It does have an internal 320 milliamp hour battery, so when you leave it in the parking lot, it's still actually keeping that parking mode if you have that activated, and it'll keep track of if somebody bumps your car. It's going to take a recording for you all automatically as long as you have that parking mode turned on using that G sensor, that sensor that's built in. This is what the piece looks like. I tell you what, let me bring this in. We'll talk about what it actually looks like, and then we'll talk about the actual camera, my experience. So this is the camera part itself, as you can see where the magnetic attaches. Micro USB port on the top, and if I move it, it's probably going to go off again. But this is what the camera looks like in total. This is where the lens is. Now it is a Sony sensor that's actually back in here. F1.8 aperture lens, and it's like 155 degree wide, so it actually gives you a nice wide path in the video feed, which we'll actually show here in a moment. This is just the quick and easy suction cup. It does have a kind of a stickiness to it, so it sticks really good, it adheres really good, and then you actually suction it to it, and I had no problems with this at all coming loose at all. So it's the one, you know, one of those things that you never want your dash cam to fall down. And then it's just a magnetic plate that's on a ball, essentially. Or I should say a steel plate, the magnet's in there. So that's what the suction cup looks like. This is the button that I didn't show at first, but I had this installed on my dash, which I'll show you here. Basically, it's just where you can click it or click and hold it and take photos or video with it if you want to snapshot it, even if the sensor's not ringing. Or if you don't want to have that sensor turned on at all, if you see something, you can just click it or push and hold it, and you can take a photo or a video. It does both of these, both this as well as the GPS sensor here. The adhesive that you basically put on it is something that you can reuse. So if you pull it off, it's not going to leave residue, and then you can put it back on. This one specifically, the GPS sensor could maybe leave a little bit. I didn't have any problem with it coming off the windshield. It didn't leave anything on the windshield, so it definitely took a little bit to get it off, I will say that. But that is the GPS sensor that's built into the cord. So you're not going to be able to use just any micro USB cable. You're going to use the USB cable that it came with, but it does give you plenty of cable to get it to wherever you're going to actually plug it into a USB. So plenty of cable there. In the box as well, you do get the instructions, which comes with full owner's manual, but also a quick installation guide, which is pretty quick to understand. It's not that difficult. Obviously, like you saw in my vehicle, you just route it, make sure that the GPS is in the view of the sky. You're not going to want to have that underneath your dash or anything. So that's that. And everything does come actually partitioned off in the box very, very well. And they show, oh, I guess it is that way. So 1, 2, 3, the camera, the buttons and stuff, and then all the accessories. It does come with, I don't know, maybe I didn't. I think I have my vehicle. I didn't use it, but it does come with an adapter. Oh, it does come with some of those too. I should show those. So just some wire clips if you can't tuck it in where I tucked it in. It does come with some adhesive. But it does come with a actual car charger with it as well. I just have that up in my vehicle yet. I brought it up to when I installed it, and I actually left it in my little cup holder. It's still there from over a month ago when I installed it, and I was like, oh well, I'll use it just in case I want to charge another phone or something if I have somebody in my car, because I did have a USB port in my dash that actually turns on with the vehicle, so it charged it up, and then that 320 milliamp hour battery actually is built into this. Also, on the back side, this is where you're going to get into the reset button, as well as, if you actually click this guy out here, this is my memory card. I put this memory card in. This is my memory card. It's a 16 gig card. It did not come with a memory card, so that's something to keep in mind at least. So I'm going to keep that in there because I'm going to continue using this bad boy.
She says it matches the blood found at the crime scene. Also, the wound on his arm is consistent with the knife Elena Vetrov had in her hand. The blood DNA matched, Ruby said. Rousseau doesn't have a crime lab. She compared blood type and enzyme concentrations. They matched. If we want a DNA...
It's not bad.
Yeah, you just gotta work on your niche.
What does that mean?
What makes your channel different than anybody else's? What do you do differently? And why do you do it differently? You know?
I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. I just kind of post on there stuff that seems fun. Yeah?
Picking up Popeye's chicken.
We are?
Yep.
Okay.
Water won't eat it, but that's alright. So this is what night driving looks like with the VAVA Dash Cam. And, well, I guess this is the best way to actually show what the sensor is more capable of, I guess. How well the lights reflect off of it, how much detail you can get. Even with my, obviously I have headlights on right now, but if I was to actually turn the headlights off, no, I guess I have parking running lights or whatever that run on this vehicle. But that at least gives you an idea of what to expect for the quality of a video you can get out of the VAVA Dash Cam at night. So obviously you have the app. The app's free. You can download onto your device. 1080p video does actually 60 frames per second. You can adjust that if you'd like to, but that's the actual standard it's set to. It does really good in night vision with that Sony sensor. Like I said, f1.8 for the aperture of the lens, 155 degree view. It's got a lot of modes built into it, like I showed you. It is actually a pretty nice webcam, or I'm sorry, dash cam. I'm really trying to think of things that I don't like about it. I would think the big thing that I don't like, and I understand why they do it though, is the emergency videos. Now I have a small card in there. This will take up to 128 gig micro SD card. I have a 16 gig just kind of for review purposes. And I'm actually glad I did that because I wouldn't have realized that if the emergency builds up, all of a sudden the light on the back of here, whenever time I'd go in, it would just be solid red. And I was like, well, I'll check that in the app later today. And it took me a couple days before I actually did it. That's when I found out that all the loop recordings were gone. I had one left because it just got eaten, the space got eaten alive by the emergency ones, by me having it on a low setting. That comes low to medium by default, I think. And of course I've been playing around with it, so I don't know when I changed it. So that's something to keep in mind. If you're using this dash cam, if you want to keep the emergency modes built on, keep an eye on it for the first maybe a week or so that you use it to see how accurate it is. If nothing else, bump it up. I had to bump it up, and even at the highest setting in my specific vehicle, it is a small car. It's a Fiat 500, so it has a lot of bumps to it. It doesn't have a whole lot of plush ride to it, so I get a lot of even false, a lot less now with the high, but I still get false positives. I go over a bump and it thinks, hey, I should save that video. So that's something that you should definitely keep an eye on. That'd be the biggest pet peeve, the biggest thing downside to this specific guy, and I understand why they do it. I really appreciate that you can turn it off though. But if it fills up that emergency column, eventually it's going to get to the point where it won't save any new videos at all. So if you're not monitoring your camera, which I'm one of them, I think the dash cam's running all the time, I just let it go. Personally, I'm probably, after this video, I'm probably going to deactivate that in my camera and just let the loops go, and then I'll have my dash button that I can activate if I see something that I want to definitely save. And obviously the loops, I'm okay with going through the loops if I need to find something that somebody hit me. The parking mode is going to be different. That's still going to do it, but the emergency mode while I'm running, just the sensor mode while I'm driving, I'm probably going to deactivate that myself. So that is my food for thought. Otherwise, quality camera, as you can see from the footage, you know, the thing whenever you're talking about cameras is you talk about how well I can actually see, how much I can see, if I can read license plates. It's a pretty solid camera for that. So for what it is, VAVA, you did a really good job for your dash cam. I can't wait to see what's coming next, because this is the 1080p model. They do have a 2K, and I think they're creating a 4K model. So, and you probably saw that in the app. This is not the 4K model. This is the 1080 model. So those are only going to be better in terms of their quality of pictures. So if you guys have any questions or comments, please let me know. Post below to the video what you think of it. Share, like, subscribe, give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions for me, you know where to find me on techgooch.com. So thanks again for watching, guys. And we'll catch you back here for another future review. Maybe another dash cam. We'll see. See you soon.